Hey, party people, it's Cliff. So be predictable, don't be nice when you're driving or when you're doing something that requires you to be like in complete focus. And I say this because there was one time, if you're predictable, like in traffic, and you follow the traffic rules, like you're gonna avoid accidents. And it's one of those things where being nice, you've heard this before, but it's like, oh, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to wave this pedestrian through, this crosswalk. And then all of a sudden the car behind you that's going 50 miles an hour blows through, hits that pedestrian and dies. And, there's also, like, I don't know if there's a scam or anything with this, but I bet it's happened where I've been, and this happens especially where there's like a lot of traffic in LA. So like I'll be in the middle lane, I'll be making a left turn, and the guy on the other side like stops and tries to wave me to make a turn, and I just wait there. I just stop there and wait there, and I just let them go because they have the right of way. And the thing is that if I make that turn and then that guy like either mistakenly or intentionally like drives into my car, I turned in front of that guy, and now like I'm at fault for that accident. So it's one of those things. And then there was this one guy who did that exact same thing where I was making a left turn. He was coming the other way. He slowed down. He waved me on. And then as soon as I just stood there and I just shake my head no, I'm looking at him, he flicks me off. He gives me the finger. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, that, it's funny. But that was a long time ago. It was that. But yeah, like if you're predictable, if everyone else is predictable, like everything just makes sense. Like look both ways when you're crossing the street. Just keep a good head on your shoulders, get off your phone, just don't be distracted. And that's what's gonna, of course I'm, talking, don't be distracted, and I'm talking, to the camera, of course. But at least it's hands off, I don't touch, when I hit the record button, I don't touch anything else. I just, hopefully it all works out. Oh, they're tearing down that house. Oh, look at that. Well, that's neat. Putting up some other lines. But yeah, videos shouldn't be 16 minutes long. It's just I don't hit stop record. Like that's it. Just be predictable. Like don't be, if you're gonna be silly, you're gonna cause problems when you're driving around. What else is there? I gotta blow my nose here in a second. People in front of me doing silly things. They're always doing silly things. Let's see if I can blow my nose. Be a normal human being instead of, what comes on the social medias. Yeah, disgusting. But don't worry, I'm driving with my knee, because that's what us kids used to do before auto drive. And you'd put your foot up against the floorboard and then wedge your knee up against the steering wheel, and then you can at least, when you're driving straight, you can at least stay on the road and make it happen. So don't worry, I didn't take my hands off the steering wheel as you would expect. Don't worry, I'm in full control of this car, as one should be when you're driving around. LA put up these, or at least that's the big news story that's going around. City of LA is putting up these speed cameras, and I guess that's what made me think about, just driving in traffic in general. So if you're going 10 miles an hour over a speed limit, they charge you $50, they send it to you in the mail. And then if you're going like, 25 over, 30, 100 over, then it just increases. And I'm like, well, there's arguments on both sides. I was thinking about this because the statistic, at least in the article I read, was that there was 290 people that were like hitting crosswalks or like died from traffic related industry, like traffic related, pedestrian traffic related deaths. And I'm like, all right, 290 people out of a city that holds, however many millions. I don't know, 13, 14, 20, 30 million. It's unfortunate. It sucks. 290 people. Yes, I agree. Accidents happen all the time. People die all the time. Like I'm no different. If car runs a red light, hits me, I'm dead. And that's it. No more videos. That's for sure. But I'm sure you're gonna have the argument of like, oh, it's an invasive of privacy rights, and like now they're putting on more cameras, and then cameras are going to be, the spark that lets everyone else say like, oh, we're gonna put in more cameras, but the cameras aren't gonna work because you're gonna have people that are gonna, they're going up in certain locations where all of these things like happen and more people speed. But, I guess fuck you if you want to get to the hospital, and you're dying because the regular emergency services can't take you there. But I guess you deal with it later. And then it proportionally, it punishes poorer people as well. So like somebody who's worth $10 million, $20 million, in net worth, driving around their Porsche or Ferrari or Lamborghini, they don't give a shit, they're gonna, oh yeah, here you go, pay for it. I mean, maybe if you have a 3 strikes rule, they take away your license, but that's not gonna stop those kind of people from speeding. But you know what the thing is that guarantees you to stop 100% of the time? Like, doesn't matter what car you're driving, doesn't matter how fast you're going, like, always works. A fucking speed bump. A speed bump in the road. And there was one road that, like off of where I drive, where there was no speed bumps, speed limit was 35, and nobody drove 35 because the road is designed to be driven at 55, and they lowered the speed limit at one point. So people like completely ignore it. But you know what they did? And I thought this was smart on them. They put in 2 speed bumps. Now they're sort of like, they're not like speed bumps like, in a parking lot. They're speed like humps. And so it's like if you're going 50 miles an hour, it's going to damage your car. But if you're going 30 miles an hour, hey, no big deal. Speed bumps work. They've been around for who knows how long. So at these certain places, put in little speed humps. That's how you get people to slow down, is when the incentive is when the stuff that you own, the stuff that you have, is going to get damaged because you're doing an action that, is causing that damage. So we'll see what happens with these like LA, these cameras, AKA flock cameras to track you and all this data shit. Who knows? Of course, they'll also hold a town meeting, like when everyone's working during the middle of the day at a place where there's no parking and then, try to keep everyone out who didn't register and who didn't give them their ID, who didn't sign up for this or that. Oh, man. It's just politics as usual. No big deal. Welcome to more safety. You know what else was a stupid thing was, it doesn't matter. It's been talked about ad nauseum for years now, and I don't know, things just keep on going. And these flock people are. I know what's gonna happen. Whoa, what is this guy doing? I know what's gonna happen. These speed cameras are gonna go up. People are gonna be driving like normal. They're gonna be following traffic, right? And then, all of a sudden they're gonna get this bill in the mail and they're gonna miss rent, and then they're gonna get kicked out of their, their apartment. And then you can say, oh yeah, well, they shouldn't have been speeding. And it's like, well, like they needed to take their kid to get them to class on time because you know, their kid was late and they're gonna get kicked out of school, and then the however many hundreds of dollars you spent to get your kid in school like also goes out the window. So it's a perpetual motion machine of like trying to take your money. And that's another thing with me. It's like you gotta plan things a lot ahead. I don't know. All I know is I need to blow my nose again, and we're at a stoplight, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. This is the real deal, not any of that Instagram bullshit. Oh. That's all right. I had McDonald's for dinner. I think that's what does it. Whatever the chemicals they're putting in the McDonald's cheeseburgers is what's getting me going in the morning with the sneezes. But that's all right. I mean, if LA's like public transportation was a lot better, I'd probably take that, I mean, I remember going up to New York, and New York is say what you will about its public transportation, but at least it got you to where you needed to go, and you didn't need a car. You can always walk to there. Yeah, some guy running across the street jaywalking, but that's okay. He's all right. I got no big deal. Everybody does their thing. And that's the, I guess the overall message is like the more people try to control you, the more they're going to push back. I mean, there's nothing going to stop them. Nothing, all right, imagine this, right? Those speed cameras go up. You know what they look like. All right. Friends of yours who are like, anarchists against the system, which people exist like that, cover up your license plate, go drive over there at 2-3 a.m., take a couple baseball bats, run up the tower, bash those cameras out, and then guess what? They're going to have to replace the cameras again. With what? With the taxpayer money. So it's not going to solve anything. But you know what people don't give a shit about? Speed bumps. They don't care. Because it's like, I'm not going to get heavy equipment and like, remove this giant concrete, asphalt thing on the ground that's bolted in, put me in charge, coach. I'll solve all these damn problems. Yeah, it's funny because, the people that are going to actually solve problems are the ones who are not in control. I say that with a degree of joking and comedy. And why is the street closed up here? And why is this BMW doing what it's doing? And I'm going to get around this guy, I guess. But anyway, I'm coming up on work. And it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a relaxing day. Productive day, I hope. So, until next time, be safe out there. Drive safe out there. And, be good.